Sure.
The next question goes in the direction of versus modes and online play. What can you tell me there?
Okay, so online play, we are planning online play with rollback netcode so that you get a fair, predictable match on all of the arcade games as well as all of the 16-bit home games. I think 32X is actually included in there as sort of grandfathered in, but I'm not sure, so I don't want to promise 32X online play. I think it's in there. Trilogy is also going to have online play. We have all of the original games, as you used to play them, are fully playable. We have not taken anything out. We have not disabled anything. So you can hit play and hit on a second controller and play like you always did. We have, in our emulation, added a special versus mode that feels more comfortable to what you would play in, say, Mortal Kombat 1. Where you can just say, this is a versus mode, I want to go straight to a character select screen, I want to choose my level, and I want to play. And, in the original games, the two-player modes were very much based on the arcade idea of somebody putting in another quarter to come up and challenge you. So there was this extra menu of press start to continue, and then player 2 has entered the tournament. Our versus mode, like the modern fighting game versus modes, strips that out. So that's also available for all of the arcade games and all of the home games. The handheld games are not two-player. They're one-player experiences because we figured, first of all, there are some emulation issues with emulating link cables. It can be done, but it is very difficult sometimes. And most of the handheld games, that was a solitary experience. One person is holding that system and playing the game themselves. So it felt like it's okay, like you're holding a Game Gear to play the Game Gear version of Mortal Kombat. Sure, there were ways to play some of these games two players. The Game Boy Advance games for sure, they had a link cable. But, everybody had to have their own system. And here, we've got one instance of the emulator running. So what does that get you? That gets you single player.
Yeah.
We're talking about what's the workaround for that. Not at launch.
Okay.
But, online play is also unlikely to come for that. But I'm not going to say we didn't say, is this something that we could do? So, versus mode, all of the original versus modes that you would expect, whether it's just, popping in a new, all the arcade games are set to free play. So hitting start to join somebody else's single player game, that's fine. Plus we have this versus mode. Online with rollback is going to play kind of like that versus mode, that optimized, choose your character, choose a stage, go play. So we're testing the online now. We're testing the different distances as well. So that should be up and running. And of course, that's something that as we go, we will likely refine the online play. If we find bugs or if people report problems, we want to look into that and make it better and better and better. But we'll have at least quick match going by launch. And we're hoping to also, it might come a little bit later, but we're hoping to also have a lobby system so that you and your friends can be in the same room. You can be chatting on Discord or whatever you want to do. And, sort of winner stays, loser pays. Somebody can be in a queue. I'm next. I've got next. That kind of thing. That's what we would like to do. But I know for sure we'll have a quick match at launch.
How does it look on the 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3, something like that? Some more advanced features.
For online, I don't think so. For like Trilogy, you can still do the 2-on-2 combat mode. Anything that's in there, a tournament mode that was in the Super Nintendo Mortal Kombat 3, is it? Those additional multiplayer modes are activated, or you can activate them with a toggle switch. We're not planning an online play for more than 2 players connecting at any given time. If you know anything about online network code, the more players you add, the more problems you generally introduce. So since this is a one-on-one fighting game, we are focusing our online to be a one-on-one thing, but with other people being able to watch the action.
Lovely.
All right.
What kind of safeguards do you guys have to make sure that online play stays cheat-free?
I don't know. I got to be honest with you. I don't know. We are using a system that we did not write ourselves. We're using an off-the-shelf package and then modifying it and making sure that we're compliant with it. So I believe that the tech that we're using has some of the anti-cheat in it. But you know what? I don't have a definitive answer, and I don't want to go any further than that because I haven't thought about that. I've been thinking about so many other things about this game. I don't know. So let me ask when I get back and see what I can find out. Because maybe it's automatic as part of what we're using. It hasn't been a conversation, so either it's already solved and I don't have to worry about it, or oh my God, nobody thought about it. So it could be one of the two.
Okay, my final question for online is, in other games or titles, there was this bug that actually banned those games or the controllers used for them from tournaments. The bug represents basically you're able to press a single direction and then also press and activate the opposite direction.
Oh, yes. Like double input stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I honestly do not know. I don't know enough about our input tech to be able to answer that. I do know what you're talking about. And let me ask, because if it's at the controller level, I'm not sure that we would be able to filter that simply because we are on like 8 platforms, 9 platforms, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a really good, deep technical question. I will bring that back to the tech team and ask them if we have an answer to that.
That would be good. I think people will be happy.
Yeah, we've been testing with a lot of standard controls. We test with PlayStation DualShocks, 4 and 5. We test with Xbox controllers from various. We still even use 360 controllers at the office for a lot of our testing. I use a bunch of fight sticks. We have a bunch of Kombat fight sticks in the office. I have a Mayflash that I upgraded with Sanwa parts that I brought in from home. So, we try with a lot of different things, but we haven't. I don't know about exploits that are related to controllers yet, so I'll inquire about that.
I promise final question, but this is going to be the final question for the online play.
Okay.
Tournaments. My expectation is that the release of the Legacy Collection will reignite the passion of people for those games.
That would
Do
be
you
nice.
guys plan to address the tournament scene in a more direct way?
Honestly, no.
Okay.
And I know that's probably not the answer that people want to hear, but early on in this project, we had to decide what features can we really commit to. We have X amount of time, we have X amount of resources and people, and what do we do? And we looked at this, and since our whole thing is really about playing these games that hopefully people have nostalgic happiness about, we know that there's a competitive scene, and we want the competitive scene to be happy. But early on, we started talking to people, and the idea of, oh man, me and my cousin, we played this Super Nintendo version all summer long, and letting them connect online to have that emotional bond again, that became much more important than we need to have rankings, we need to have tournament structure. So what I'm hoping is that the community, the tournament community, and the competitive community, being used to this kind of thing where they find a game and they build a structure around it. If we can add stuff over time that would make their lives easier, that'd be great. I want to see what they think when they try it out and see. But we're not automatically building in the tools and this is funny because our producer, Steven Johnson, has run tournaments. He's been part of the competitive scene forever. It's one of the reasons he got this job because he really knows that stuff. And so he was able to advise us about this is what the competitive community expects and wants and knows. But we honestly, when we had to put our resources, we're like, let's let people have the fun nostalgia, more important than the competitive stuff. But we will have things like records of your play when you're playing online, your win-loss record. We'll be tracking really, really basic stats like that. The idea of a player card, we are going to have something like that. Are we going to say, sign up here, use this code, go to this website, make a tournament, register, to put in no, like that's beyond what the scope of what we feel like we can do correctly here. We certainly don't want to do something that's going to be poorly executed. Be like, hey, competitive community, we thought of you, and then have the competitive community go, what is this garbage? We definitely don't want to do that. So we'll see where that goes, but we have not been focused on it. We're open. We want to make as many people happy as we can. But let's see where the conversation goes once the game comes out. Let's see if the competitive community finds that what we are giving them is something that they can use. And if it's not something that they can use, is it something that we can enhance that they could use later? It's on the table.